Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years now. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they'll show you options that fit your budget. So whether you're picking out your first policy or just looking for something that works better for you and your family, they make it easy to see your options. Visit Progressive.com. Find a rate that works for you with the Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Stop. If you know what the rose is, this is for you. And if you don't, listen closer. Meet Lem by Hello Nancy. Yes, it looks like a lemon, but it's anything but innocent. Every 25 seconds, someone discovers Lem. With 500,000 customers and a 4.7 star rating, women say it's toe-curling and mind-blowing. It's whisper quiet and completely discreet, so no one hears a thing and no one knows what it is. Go to HelloNancy.com for 50% off this Valentine's Day. Once you try it, you'll understand.
When it's time for a move, do it right. With United Van Lines, America's #1 mover, a full-service move means everything is handled for you. Professional packing and unpacking, custom crating, furniture assembly, even storage if you need it. No surprises. Precision, care, and clear communication before, during, and after your move. United Van Lines delivers coast-to-coast strength with worldwide capability. Make your move with United, America's #1 mover. Get a quote at UnitedVanLines.com.
Some of the most damaging relationships are the hardest ones to explain, and they don't have to look extreme in order to be deeply harmful. Welcome to the Covert Narcissism podcast, where we make sense of what never quite made sense. If you've been listening for a while, you may already understand what's happening in your relationship. You can see the patterns, you can name the behaviors, but maybe you still feel stuck in the same cycle. This is where coaching comes in. It's not about learning more, it's about having the support to finally apply what you already know and begin moving forward. You need a coach. If you're ready for that next step, I invite you to join me in my coaching program. You can learn more about it at covertnarcissism.com. If you've ever asked yourself, why didn't I see it sooner after being in a covert narcissistic relationship, you are certainly not alone. What most people don't realize is this: your body did see it long before your mind could explain it or put words to it. And that gap between what you felt and what you believed is what kept you stuck for so long. Today, we are going to dive into that gap, which, by the way, is called cognitive dissonance. You see, there's a question that sits quietly in the back of so many survivors' minds, and it carries a whole lot of weight. Sometimes it sounds like regret. Sometimes it sounds like shame. Sometimes it even sounds like self-judgment that feels almost impossible to shake. And that question is, why didn't I see it sooner? Now, underneath that question is often something even more painful, and that's what's wrong with me. What's wrong with me that I stayed? What's wrong with me that I didn't recognize it? What's wrong with me that I kept hoping? If these questions have ever crossed your mind, I want to break this apart because this is one of the most important shifts that you can make in your own healing. The problem is not that you didn't see it sooner. The problem is that you've been taught to trust your mind over your body. Many of us have, even when your body was trying to tell you the truth the whole time. Here's what a lot of people don't recognize is your body knew long before your mind could put words to it. There were signs, not always obvious ones, not things that you could easily explain to someone else, but they were there. The tight feeling in your chest when a conversation started to turn. The pit in your stomach when you heard their footsteps or their tone shift just slightly. The way your body would tense up before you even understood why. The exhaustion that didn't make sense. The anxiety that seemed to come out of nowhere. The sense of walking on eggshells without being able to really point to a clear reason. Even the pulling away and not feeling intimate feelings toward them. Your nervous system was picking up on something that your conscious mind was not aware of yet, and it could not comprehend. That's not a flaw, it's actually how we're designed. Your nervous system, it's quick, it's fast, it's constantly scanning for safety or threat. It has one job: to keep you safe, and it's extremely good at it. It's not waiting for your mind to catch up. It's not waiting for logic or for evidence. It's not sitting there saying, let me gather all the facts and make sure I have a provable pattern before I react. No, it is scanning outside of your awareness, outside of your conscious thought. If you've ever felt anxious around someone but just couldn't explain why, this is why. Your body is reacting to something, but your mind hasn't caught up to it yet. You see, the conscious mind is slow. It's logical. It's language-based, okay? And words get in the way. It analyzes, it reasons, it tries to make sense of things, and all of this takes time. But your subconscious mind, your nervous system, it does not rely on language, and it is fast. It is automatic. It's survival-based. It detects patterns, tone shifts, inconsistencies, and potential threats instantly. Your nervous system is responding in real time. Your mind has to catch up. See, in that real time, your nervous system is responding to micro expressions that are not even in your awareness. Unpredictability, energy shifts, things that are all around us that we don't even notice. It picks up on what doesn't match, what feels off, what feels unsafe, even when everything on the surface looks fine, and that's what our mind sees. You see, this is happening below your conscious awareness. Your nervous system is constantly scanning for safety or threat. It's not waiting for logic, and it's not waiting for proof. It's just responding in real time to what feels safe and, more importantly, to what doesn't feel safe. In a relationship with a covert narcissist, this becomes incredibly confusing because what your body feels and what your mind sees, they just don't line up. This is the root of cognitive dissonance. And this is the part that makes us all feel crazy because you're living in two realities at the same time. This is within your home, within your family unit. You have one reality in your body that you don't feel safe, and you have a different reality in your mind that you are safe. And no matter which one you listen to, the two just don't add up. Now, what I'm describing here is the very real and felt experience of cognitive dissonance, especially in covert narcissistic relationships. At its very core, cognitive dissonance happens when two conflicting realities exist at the same time. What you feel, your body, your nervous system, your intuition, your gut, and what you believe or perceive, your thoughts, your words, how things look on the surface. And your system does not know how to hold both. So what does it do? It tries to resolve the conflict. Well, unfortunately, your mind will almost always override your body. Why? Because your mind is trying to maintain stability, attachment, a coherent story. It's in your conscious thought, so it's the one we connect with more. It starts explaining things away. They didn't really mean it like that. I'm just being sensitive. Every relationship has issues. They're actually a good person. Meanwhile, your body is saying something is not right here. It isn't that you don't see this sooner. It's just that we all listened to the wrong part of us. You didn't miss it. Your system was trying to reconcile two conflicting truths. Like I said, this is the very root of cognitive dissonance. Your body is reacting to something that feels unsafe, while your mind is desperately trying to hold on to a version of reality that still feels okay. And the longer those two don't match, the more confusing it becomes. Cognitive dissonance doesn't mean you didn't see it. It means you were trying to survive the two conflicting truths at the same time. And that is a very different story than I should have known. On the surface, the covert narcissist in your life may seem kind, flexible, easygoing, even supportive. They might say the right things. They might present themselves in a way that looks safe to the outside world. But underneath that, there is a pattern of control, blame shifting, subtle criticism, gaslighting, emotional withdrawal, manipulation. Even though that pattern is there, it doesn't always have clear, undeniable proof. And that's where our mind gets stuck. There is nothing about covert narcissism that is easy to see or easy to grasp or easy to put into words. It's especially not easy to hold on to or to keep it clear in your mind. It's there one day and it's gone the very next. So your body reacts, but your mind cannot keep up. It's trying to make sense of all of this. This is the part that makes you feel like you're absolutely going crazy. You feel like you're losing your mind because you're living in two realities at the same time. And again, no matter which one you listen to, something just doesn't add up. Your body says something isn't right here, and so you feel uneasy or anxious. But your mind says, but they're a good person, and you try to force your way through to relax and trust. Your body is screaming, I don't feel safe here, and you're tense and hypervigilant. But your mind says, maybe I'm overreacting, and so you try to stay calm and spontaneous. Your body says, this is exhausting, screaming for some space and safety. And your mind says, relationships take work, so you dig in and try to make things better. So if you're sitting there wondering, why did it take so long for me to see this? It wasn't because you weren't paying attention. It's because you were trying to make two completely different realities fit into one. And when that happens, the mind will almost always choose the version that feels safer to hold on to. And slowly over time, you learn to override your body. So to answer that overwhelming question of why didn't I leave or why don't I leave, this is your answer. Because resolving that tension in the most truthful way, which would be saying this relationship is not safe for me, that would mean everything has to change. It means loss, significant loss, a major upheaval of your life, your family, your future. It would mean grief. It's letting go of this version of them that you want to believe in, letting go of the future you think you have, of the person you believe you are when you're in this relationship, letting go of everything you've believed in. So instead, your mind tries to resolve that tension in a less painful way by questioning you. It's so much easier. So instead of doubting the relationship, you learn to doubt yourself. Not because you're weak, not even really because you're unaware, but
Stop. If you know what the rose is, this is for you. And if you don't, listen closer. Meet Lem by Hello Nancy. Yes, it looks like a lemon, but it's anything but innocent. Every 25 seconds, someone discovers Lem. With 500,000 customers and a 4.7 star rating, women say it's toe-curling and mind-blowing. It's whisper quiet and completely discreet, so no one hears a thing and no one knows what it is. Go to HelloNancy.com for 50% off this Valentine's Day. Once you try it, you'll understand. Stop. If you know what the rose is, this is for you. And if you don't, listen closer. Meet Lem by Hello Nancy. Yes, it looks like a lemon, but it's anything but innocent. Every 25 seconds, someone discovers Lem. With 500,000 customers and a 4.7 star rating, women say it's toe-curling and mind-blowing. It's whisper quiet and completely discreet, so no one hears a thing and no one knows what it is. Go to HelloNancy.com for 50% off this Valentine's Day. Once you try it, you'll understand.
because you've been conditioned to do that. And in regards to the mind and body, it's kind of the path of least resistance. Many of us were raised in environments where our feelings were minimized, dismissed, corrected. You may have learned early on that your role was to keep the peace, to give the benefit of the doubt, to see the good in others, to try harder, to be more understanding, to be cooperative. Clearly, it is our job to make life easier and smoother for those around us. You may have been taught that discomfort is something to push through, not something to listen to. So when your body started sending signals, you didn't ignore them because you didn't care. You ignored them because you were taught not to trust them. And that's a very different story than I should have known. Because in reality, there was a part of you that did know. It just didn't have a voice yet. It didn't have the language. It didn't have validation. It didn't have support. And every time your body tried to speak up, it was met with a louder, more practical, and more practiced voice. And that voice said, "No, that doesn't make sense. That's not true. I'm being too sensitive." So, how did awareness come? It didn't come all at once. It can't. It comes in layers. It came in moments where something didn't sit quite right. It came in conversations that left you confused long after they ended. It came in the growing exhaustion of trying to make something work that never quite stabilized. It came in the quiet realization that no matter how much you gave, it was never enough. Something still felt off. Eventually, those moments start to connect. Not because you suddenly become more intelligent, not because you finally figured it all out, but because the gap between what your body already knew and what your mind was trying to hang on to, it simply becomes too big to ignore. The cognitive dissonance just becomes too much to keep carrying. So one day, your eyes just open. They open just enough to let you start to see this. And that's the aha moment. The moment where all of a sudden it all makes sense. The moment where you feel like you've known this all along, but you didn't understand what you knew. That's the moment that your mind and your body just connect, just briefly. And then you jump down the rabbit hole and absorb all the information you can about narcissism. But then comes the shame. I wasted so much time. How did I not see this? I should have left sooner. But what if we reframe that? What if instead of asking, why didn't I see it sooner? Let's ask a different question. What was happening inside of me that made it hard to trust what I was already feeling? Because that question leads you to understanding instead of judgment. It leads you to compassion for the parts of you that were trying to keep you safe in the only way they knew how. The parts that believed in people, the parts that hoped, the parts that worked harder instead of walking away, the parts that were trying to make sense of something that did not make sense. When you start to see it this way, something shifts. You stop seeing yourself as someone who missed it, and instead you start seeing yourself as someone who was slowly, carefully, and methodically waking up to it. That's not failure. That is awareness developing in real time under very confusing conditions. Your mind and your body start reconnecting with each other. Now, here's the part that really matters moving forward in your healing. If your body knew before your mind did, and I'm going to say for most of us, if not all of us, that statement is true. If your body knew before your mind did, then your healing is going to involve learning how to listen to your body again. Hear what I'm saying? The healing journey is reconnecting your mind and your body. Not perfectly, not all at once, but gently, slowly, with curiosity instead of dismissal or self-judgment. And boy, that's a big one. You've been through enough judgment. You do not need any more. When something feels off inside of you, instead of immediately correcting it with logic, pause. Pause and ask, what am I noticing in my body right now? When you feel that tightness, that tension, that exhaustion, that sense of unease, instead of pushing it away, get curious about it. This is the same system that was trying to protect you before you had the words. And the more you learn to listen to it now, the more aligned your awareness becomes. Your body and your mind start working together instead of against each other. And that is where you find peace within you. So if you are someone who is looking back and feeling ashamed that it took you so long to see what was happening, I want you to hear this clearly. It didn't take too long. It took exactly as long as it needed to for you to be able to see it, understand it, and hold on to it as truth. And your body was with you the entire time. You're not behind. You're not broken. You were learning to see something that was never clearly shown to you. The goal here is to rebuild trust with yourself. The same system that picked up on what wasn't right before you had the words is the very system that can guide you toward what is right if you learn how to listen to it. And this matters as you move forward, whether that's in this relationship or a future relationship or no relationships. Because the goal here isn't to become hyper aware of every red flag out there or to overanalyze every single interaction. That's not it. It's not about trying to get it perfect next time. It's about rebuilding trust with yourself. This doesn't mean you'll always have instant clarity. It doesn't mean that everything will suddenly feel obvious and crystal clear. But it does mean that you can start paying attention in a different way. Instead of overriding that feeling in your body, you can pause and get curious about it. You can slow things down and give yourself permission to not rush into certainty or into decisions. Because going forward, the question is not, can I trust them? No, the question becomes, can I trust myself when something feels off? And that is a very different place to live from. I wish you so much peace on your journey of healing. If you've been listening for a while, you may already understand what's happening in your relationship. You can see the patterns, you can name the behaviors. But maybe you still feel stuck in the same cycle. This is where coaching comes in. It's not about learning more. It's about having the support to finally apply what you already know and begin to move forward. If you're ready for that next step, I invite you to join me in my coaching program. You can learn more about it at covertnarcissism.com. Your story matters, and you deserve to be heard without judgment. Check out my coaching services at my website, again, covertnarcissism.com. And don't forget to subscribe, to thumbs up, to follow, to like this podcast so that you can get more empowering episodes like this one and to help us continue spreading the word so that our community can continue to grow. I wish you so much peace on your journey of healing. The information provided by Renee Swanson, Covert Narcissism Podcast, and CNG Life Coaching is for educational purposes only and is not to be used for diagnosis purposes and not intended to be a substitute for clinical care. Please consult a healthcare provider for guidance specific to your case. This material discusses narcissism in general. Renee shares stories from her personal experience as well as from those she has talked with for several years. Her material does not claim that any specific person has narcissism and should not be used to refer to any specific person as having narcissism. Permission is not granted to link to or repost this material to support any allegation or support a claim that any specific person is a narcissist. That would be an unauthorized misuse of this material and information provided.
Stop. If you know what the rose is, this is for you. And if you don't, listen closer. Meet Lem by Hello Nancy. Yes, it looks like a lemon, but it's anything but innocent. Every 25 seconds, someone discovers Lem. With 500,000 customers and a 4.7 star rating, women say it's toe-curling and mind-blowing. It's whisper quiet and completely discreet, so no one hears a thing and no one knows what it is. Go to HelloNancy.com for 50% off this Valentine's Day. Once you try it, you'll understand.
When it's time for a move, do it right. With United Van Lines, America's #1 mover, a full-service move means everything is handled for you. Professional packing and unpacking, custom crating, furniture assembly, even storage if you need it. No surprises. Precision, care, and clear communication before, during, and after your move. United Van Lines delivers coast-to-coast strength with worldwide capability. Make your move with United, America's #1 mover. Get a quote at UnitedVanLines.com.
Stop. If you know what the rose is, this is for you. And if you don't, listen closer. Meet Lem by Hello Nancy. Yes, it looks like a lemon, but it's anything but innocent. Every 25 seconds, someone discovers Lem. With 500,000 customers and a 4.7 star rating, women say it's toe-curling and mind-blowing. It's whisper quiet and completely discreet, so no one hears a thing and no one knows what it is. Go to HelloNancy.com for 50% off this Valentine's Day. Once you try it, you'll understand.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.